Good evening and welcome to the Billionaire Generation. I'm your host, Felix Joe. Let us know where you're watching us from and if you can get us loud and clear. If you have a question, write to us on our Facebook page. The page is The Billionaire Generation, or on our YouTube channel, and the channel is The Billionaire Generation. Now, the Billionaire Generation is a forum where young minds are shaped, polished, and equipped to tap into the natural abundance of resources to create wealth for generations. You have what it takes to become the next billionaire. But the question is, how can a young person tap into the natural abundance of resources? And do you have to wait until you're old to become rich? What is the difference between riches and wealth? Our guest today is a man of God and an established entrepreneur. He's the CEO of Blueprint Holdings, the president and founder of Destiny Ministries International. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the man himself, Bishop Titus Mbai. Karibu sana to the show.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to a great time in this program.
Amen. Now, our topic for tonight is wealth and riches. I can guarantee you that this is going to be super and exciting, something that we are all looking forward to. If you have any questions, like we said, keep writing to us, and we'll feature the answers if we have the time towards the end. Now, let's begin with a question here. Bishop Titus Mbai,
Yep.
what is the difference between being rich and being wealthy?
The difference between being rich and being wealthy is like night and day. Anybody that can be accorded the label of being a rich man, it means they have a luxury of options. And I want to repeat that. It means they have a luxury
Of options.
not options. There are a lot of people who have options, but they don't have the luxury of options.
Wow.
So when we say so-and-so is a rich man or is a rich lady, we are saying they live where you live, they probably drive a car that you drive, they probably are your neighbors at home or former classmates, excuse me, or former classmates, but they have a luxury of options. They can afford things that somebody else will struggle to have. They have their needs met and their surplus to meet other people's needs. They are comfortable in life. They are rich. Their children are equally referred to as rich kids. That means when they're in class when they're going to school with they may use the same school bus. But once they step on the ground, you will notice their school bags are different. They are peculiar. Their shoes are not just every other child's shoes.
Yes.
Even the socks they are wearing will be peculiar because their parents are rich. And they are rich kids because they can afford to buy them what any other parent may not afford to buy for their kid. They're rich.
So the socks they wear is not the socks that was in the house, but the pair that they wanted.
Exactly. Wow. They choose their breakfast every day.
Yes.
Rich people, you choose what they will eat for breakfast.
People who are not rich eat what is in the house.
What is available.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
those that don't have the luxury of options, who are not rich, they eat what is served. Rich people they choose what to eat for breakfast. They begin with, what do you want to eat for lunch today? What do you want to eat for supper? Where do we eat tonight?
Wow.
But when you are rich, you can afford. Those are what I'm calling luxury in every aspect of life. They have options that other people don't have.
Wow.
They're rich.
In other words, they have a menu in the house.
Exactly. They are rich. They don't have to cook because they have a kitchen. They can order food.
Wow.
They are rich. They have options.
Yes.
Not just money. They have money, and the money accords them a luxury of options.
Wow. If that is being rich, what then is being wealthy?
Now, a lot of rich people have money because they make it. They're busy making money. Every day they're going to either work in a profitable company, or they're going to an industrial property which they own, or they have a business they own, a business empire that they own. So they have a constant way of making money. So they can afford to continue having this. But those people, what happens when coronavirus, for example, shuts down their business empire? What happens when calamity strikes or a fire guts down their houses or their apartment blocks? They go back to where they are. They are retreated back to the common life that they thought they were way above it, because they are just simply rich. They made enough money. A wealthy person is not worried about money. He makes money, but creates wealth with that money.
Wow.
He turns that money into assets. Whether they are movable assets or they are fixed assets, or whether they are just, there's money. They don't worry about corona killing their business. Because if they shut down their hotel business, they have apartments. Because whether it's corona or not, people will still pay rent.
They will live in a house.
They'll live in a house.
Yes.
They also have a tour company. If the tours companies are not working, they have invested heavily on transport.
Yes.
So they can get jobs from Amazon, or they can get it, or they can buy Uber cars or whatever. In other words, they have wealth is generational. It is something that if I die today, my sons and my daughters will still afford to live the life that they lived, or even build higher and better. You multiply wealth.
Wow.
But when you are rich, my goodness, and my father, I just want you to know, when you are rich, you are simply having options. And should anything go wrong, you have no guarantee.
The options are gone.
But when somebody is wealthy, they have invested their money, their time, their resources. And now it is in the process of multiplying its value.
Yes.
So it outlives them. And supersedes their expectation, because it is multiplying. Wealth multiplies itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So money can be for a generation, but wealth
is generational. But money can just be, we have a lot, okay, let me just give you an example in the Bible.
Yes.
There is a man in the Bible, in the book of Luke. Is referred to a father who had two sons. We are not told his empire or whatever.
Yes.
The Bible says, the good book says, he had two sons. The older one and the younger one. And the younger one comes to his father because he had a legal mindset. He knew what his legal rights are. He comes and tells his father, Dad, I consider myself to be a grown-up. I want you to give me a portion that belongs to me. And I'm not interested in taking my brother's portion. I need what belongs to me. And the same book says he divided that wealth to the son to get his portion.
Yes.
And his son remained with a portion. And the father remained with his portion and his wife to live on.
Yeah. Wow.
You see, you can divide wealth. But once you divide money, it loses its...
If you divide your riches, you're no longer rich.
Yeah, you're no longer rich.
Wow.
But wealth, you can distribute and you can divide it.
Wow.
So this man was not rich. No. This father was a wealthy man.
Wow.
He had wealth.
Wow.
His son, last-born son, became rich overnight because he has been given money. He has options.
Yes.
But he disconnected himself from the formula that made his father wealthy.
Wow. Wow. And this man was so wealthy that even when his son squandered the riches, this man could still afford to sustain him again.
Exactly.
Wow.
Because he remained with the formula. One of the things we'll talk about in this program is, strategy. We will not give people formulas, we give them a strategy. We will give them to understand that you don't have to be like your neighbor or your classmate or whatever to make money because he's making money. No, it is your strategy that works for you. It is that sling that David picks up. That's sling that David picks up without even a stone. And he tells the king, I can use your armor because I've not tested it. But I have a sling.
Wow.
And finding a stone won't be hard because we're in the valley of Elam and there are stones everywhere. I don't need a special stone when I have my sling.
Wow. Wow.
One of the things we talk to young people about here as they endeavor to create millions or wealth is because it is your sling that God enables you to put a stone into it and bring down the giants of your life.
Wow.
It was that stone it is that sling with the stone that he picked up on the ground that became a strategy to deliver Israel from the tyranny of Goliath.
Wow. Now, this young man, he got a portion of his father's wealth and became rich.
Yeah.
But then, can a young person become wealthy, or does he stop at being rich?
Oh, yes. If he discovers the secret of not consuming. The problem with young people is because they are consumers, and I'm not accusing our audience. They are consumers.
Yes.
And if you have ever noticed that everything that you consumed, God made a biological way of getting it out.
Yeah.
And once it comes out of you, once it enters you, it is good.
Yeah.
But when it comes out of you, it's messy.
It's filthy.
It's messy.
Yeah.
Which means if I take every opportunity to make money that I get and I have to chew it up, put it down, then it will come out in a way that cannot help me. So young people need to be told that you can be wealthy. You can create wealth when you're young. In fact, that's why we have this program.
Wow.
You can create wealth from what you have, not what you will get. From where you are. You need. David booked a place in the throne of Israel using his sling.
Wow. Wow.
It is the process of bringing down the giant with his sling that made the king notice him. The king lived in the palace, which he will rule from. But if he had gone to the palace without the process of using his sling, then he would have been killed, or even he would have been in prison. But he was able to be invited because he used what he has to create an highway to the throne. And that's how he got to the palace.
Wow. Wow.
Now, for a young person to become wealthy or rich, because there is no way you can wake up wealthy if you have not created, it's a process.
Yes.
This person needs to know, what do I spend and what do I keep?
Wow.
What do I use and what do I save? What do I need and what do I want? Because if you mix your wants and your needs, then they will create they will make you a spendthrift. You will be just out on a spending free. This young man did not become wealthy in the book of Luke 15 because he never put the wealth that he got from the money that he got from his father, he never put it in a process to multiply. He never invested it. He consumed it.
Wow. So wealth has a process.
Yes, you create wealth through a process. If you wake up wealthy today, with wealth today, you wake up one day and not find it.
So what you wake up with overnight cannot be considered wealth. It might qualify as riches, but can never be considered as wealth.
That is why wealthy people or rich people divide their riches to their children. And in 3 to 5 years, the kids are looking for a job. And to save themselves from embarrassment, they get into drugs.
Wow.
Because he cannot exist the way he existed when his father, who was wealthy, who had riches, was alive. He existed. He can't live. He doesn't have what he was left.
Yes.
So he can't. He either commits suicide or he thinks of just looking for shortcuts to create his own.
Wow.
But because shortcuts are the longest distance between 2 points is a shortcut.
Yes.
Then the distance keeps on becoming longer and longer, and they enter into bad choices, bad company, because they are looking for what their father had. Yet their father had a process.
Wow.
He had a formula. He had something that he had created that was guaranteed is money, and money coming in and wealth being created.
Yes.
But the sons get it as a product, minus the process.
Wow.
That's why it was very easy for this prodigal son, as he is called in the Bible.
Yes.
He kept on spending, but he never multiplied. He never invested, he never multiplied. Then one day he had nothing.
Yeah.
But he moves from having money to having none.
Yes.
And because he doesn't know how to go up where he was, because he doesn't know the process, he was simply given the money.
Yes.
Then he goes down and down to a point where by the time he changes his mind, he was keeping pigs. And he was not even qualified to eat the food of the pigs. He was not in the menu for pigs.
Wow.
That's how low you get because
Yes.
because you simply got money or you became rich overnight.
Yes.
Then he goes back. He says, I'm going back to my father as a servant. But while he gets back home, he is plugged into the process of creating wealth.
Wow. Wow.
The
If I
father
get
never
you-
stopped.
If I get you correctly then now, you're saying that money, riches can be made,
Yeah.
but wealth is created.
Yeah.
And what is created has a life of its own.
Yes.
But what is made is just artificial.
It is.
So once you create wealth, then it has its way of growing itself because it has a life. Created things are living things.
Yes.
Wow.
When you create wealth, it has a DNA.
Wow.
See?
Yes.
Therefore, it can procreate itself.
Wow.
It can go. That's why wealth is generational.
Wow. Wow.
But money doesn't have a title to it.
Yeah. Wow.
Doesn't have your DNA.
Uh-huh.
So it is very possible for you to understand the young man we started talking about
Yes.
only got back to enjoy the life he could not enjoy after he plugged back into the process of creating wealth.
Wow.
Because the father never stopped creating.
Wow. Wow.
Even after giving 50% to his son.
Yes.
The process that gave him the 100% was still multiplying
Continuous.
itself.
Yes.
That's why he could afford to have a ring that he has not bought.
Wow.
He could have a banquet,
clock.
a clock, and he could have a suit and a
Yes.
new suit and everything else, and a banquet.
Wow.
Do you know why the Bible leaves us without telling us what happened after that? Because he found himself again in his father when he plugged back.
Plugged back in.
Yeah.
Wow. What is this natural abundance of resources that we're talking about?
God, in his own wisdom, created the earth and the fullness thereof.
Yes.
Okay, there's no way I can separate myself from the Bible because I'm a Bible man, although I'm a businessman. God, let me rephrase this. When God created this world that we live in,
Yes.
he did not just wake up and yawned and stretched himself and said, today I'll create something I'll call the world.
Yeah.
And put a few things in it, trees and water and what.
Yes.
Today people are talking about blue economy. Who owns the blue economy? Who created the blue economy?
God.
God.
Yeah.
What idea did he have to put to create what today we are calling blue economy?
Yeah.
Who created the natural resources that we call resources today?
God.
God himself.
Yes.
So, if God created this world and put everything in it, when you talk, which we call natural, I want to call it today a natural resource. So when I call it a natural resource, we found it. It's already here. We don't manufacture it. We don't do whatever. It's already here.
Yes.
We found it. It's around you. It's above you. It's below you. It's underneath you. It's everywhere. Because gold is down here.
Yeah.
Copper is dark. You know, everything. If there are minerals, they are dark
Yes.
from the ground. You are
Yes.
standing on
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Your house is on it. We are sitting on it.
Wow.
We sleep on the same,
Yes.
the ground that produces maize, that produces corn, that produces beans, that produces copper, that produces whatever, is what it is.
Yes.
So that is natural resource, and it's abundant. It's in abundance.
Yes.
The Bible says the earth and the fullness thereof, the earth
Yes.
and the fullness thereof belongs to God.
God.
And God did not create something that is useless. So this earth and the fullness thereof is what I'm calling natural resource.
Wow.
When you discover that everything you need is available
Uh-huh.
naturally,
Yes.
and I know somebody can challenge me and tell me, no, planes are not available naturally.
But then that is what you want, not what you need.
The metal that makes
Yes.
the metal that makes the plane
Yes.
and makes the car you drive is a natural resource.
What you need to make what you want is naturally available.
It's natural. That's why I'm saying it's a natural creating wealth out of the natural what, the natural, the abundance of natural
Natural
what,
resources.
because it's in abundance. So why then can a young man, not an old man,
Yes.
why can't a young man who has the same two eyes,
Yes.
the same 2 ears, the same two hands, and the same two legs, and one heart that beats?
Yes.
Probably on your left, because in the United States I found a woman with a heart on the right, the only one I've ever found.
Yeah.
And you have the same time that the president of any given country, the emperor, the king,
Yes.
the beggar in the
Yes.
street, the young man in school, as the same exposure to the natural what?
Resources.
To the natural resource
Yeah.
that Bill Gates has and everybody else has,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Then you discover what Dangote, the richest man in Africa today, found. That guy is not. If you listen to him and he tells you why he has made money, you will discover one of them is he has cement factories all over Africa. Cement is a natural resource,
Wow.
right?
Yes.
He has bought farms in Nigeria and planted crops,
Yes.
creating employment. But out of the employment that he creates, he is empowered by getting a harvest. He processes it and turns into a raw material that produces comes out in multiplicity of products.
Yes.
That's a natural resource.
Wow.
Why would a young man, even without an ID card, because he's not 18,
Yes.
why would you just recognize I was about to stand? Why did you discover that what you are seeing is a resource
Wow.
available to you?
Wow.
What you are standing on is a resource that is available to you. And all the things that you see today that are manifested as people have titles to them or logbooks or whatever,
Yes.
is because they did something to access them.
Wow.
Why would you, for example, why would you as a young person, do you need a PhD to grow tomatoes?
No. My grandmother grew them and
She never went to school.
she never went to school.
Good. Did she make money?
Oh, yes.
Good. Now, if I can plant tomatoes or potatoes
Yes.
or soybeans
Yes.
or maize or corn, if I can plant that and the corn will never tell me, you won't plant me if you are not above 18, then you realize, and I'll say something very controversial here, you realize we have been deprived of our opportunities to create money or to create wealth. Because number one, we are told that for us to become useful in this world,
Yeah.
we have to go through kindergarten. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
I'm not against knowledge. We have to go through kindergarten. And once you finish kindergarten, you have to go to elementary school or primary school.
Yeah.
After primary school, you have to spend 4 years in high school. After high school, you have to go, if you become very profitable and you become a resource yourself in the world, then you have to go to the university for 4 years or 5 years or 7 years if you are doing engineering or medical. Then you come out, and then if you want to become so useful, you go and get your master's degree so that you can become a specialist. And if you want the top layer of life,
Yes.
then you go and do your PhD. Then you start publishing books and you become a professor.
Wow.
Now, how many years are those? From kindergarten to professorship?
That's about 18 to 23 years.
18 to 23 years. So the youngest professor in normal Africa
Yeah.
will be probably 23, 25, 26.
Yes. Yes.
Now, if I started planting tomatoes,
You would have harvested thousands of times in 23 years.
in 23 years, how much tomatoes? And I stick to tomatoes because my dad has land.
Wow.
If I planted that 23 years times every harvest,
Wow.
I will have created wealth that this man who finishes his academic journey will create. I'll create what you create in 20 years, in 15 years of my little investment.
Wow.
That I say not because I'm anti-education. No, we need professionals.
Yes.
But natural resource gives us the same opportunity.
The same platform. So what you're saying is that we are walking on opportunities every day.
Exactly.
We are seated on opportunities.
Sleeping on them.
We
too.
sleep on opportunities.
Yeah.
Now, how do we open our eyes to see these opportunities? You're talking about farming, and the challenge with farming in the eyes of most young people is that you have to do it on the ground, and the ground is dirty.
Yeah. Young people don't want to get that.
How do I open my eyes to see gold in that dirt?
See, the problem with us young people, because I'll put myself there, it's just the problem the 10 virgins had who were invited in a wedding. They were shortlisted to be maids in a wedding. 10 of them.
Yeah.
But the requirement they were told was they have to come with a lamp, which requires some kerosene
Yes.
or paraffin.
Yes.
And 5 of them reasoned and said, we will carry the lamp, but we will not carry the extra oil or paraffin.
Yeah.
Because paraffin stinks.
Yeah. Stinky.
It's messy for a young lady who want to make an impact or want to be noticed. But it was what was required for them to carry. So they ignored it.
Yeah.
And 5 of them said, we may not like paraffin, but this is what will guarantee us to last for the long haul.
Wow.
Should the bridegroom tarry. So convenience is what is killing young people. We want what is convenient. We want to become winners without a race. We want to become victors without a battle. We want it now. So we chase knowledge as young people. Chase it all the way to the top. And then by the time we come out of these higher institutions of learning, we buy a newspaper to look for a job. And the jobs column, the page with job opportunities, as this kind of announcement advertisement. 5 years experience.
Yes.
10 years
Yes,
experience.
yes.
Where will you get that experience to qualify for that job?
That's what we wonder.
Where will you get it? Because the employer wants somebody with what?
Experience.
Experience.
I'm just from school.
You see? So what I'm telling young people is, if you are pursuing knowledge, and may the Lord bless you to pursue knowledge,
Yes.
look for in the sidelines of academic pursuits,
Yes.
look for something else out of the abundance of natural resource that will put money in your pocket.
Wow. Wow.
And once it hit your pocket, because your parents have given you pocket money,
Yes.
they have paid your hostels,
Yes.
they have done everything else,
Yes.
don't just take a girl out or a boy out for tea or coffee every day, every evening after class. No. Go get something that is going to multiply, create opportunities. That's why people who have more money are in business.
Wow.
Because business multiplies money.
So
And
therefore,
it creates wealth.
wow. So the ultimate goal in life should not be to make money, should be to use that money.
Exactly.
Wow.
Because money is a resource. And let me say another controversial statement here.
Yes.
There's nobody, no matter how educated you are or no matter how knowledgeable you are, will employ you to make you rich.
Wow.
They don't. Any employer in this world will take you as a resource. Resource material. Your brains will be a resource material. Your qualifications, your area of specialty, to him is a raw material that he needs to advance his wealth creation.
So if I am employed, what I'm selling to my employer is not my skills, it is my life.
That's your life.
Wow.
Because after 55 years or 60 years, you are no longer profitable to him.
My skills are sharpened, but my life is over.
Your life is over.
Wow.
So how do you balance, how do you annex the strength of your skill and preserve your life? Because there's no skill without a life. And life power skills. So you need to understand, even if you are employed, because you are a professional, you need to go back to the abundance of natural resources that surround you.
And if I'm getting you correct, then even money is a natural resource.
It is, because you found money. Whether that money is barter trade, where you give you a banana, you give me salt. I give you a banana, you give me salt.
It's a currency.
It's currency. So it's something is flowing. So me, I'm saying this, employment, and I know employers will be mad with me over this, and I'm an employer. You know, you need to empower the people you have employed, young people that you have employed, and tell them, please, out of what they get, let them look on the right and to the left and ahead of them, behind them, for natural. I'll use that word until it gets to the last stomach, like somebody says. You know, it look for the natural resource that surrounds you. Because it is the natural resource that will need to be powered by your salary or whatever you get to multiply, to create riches for you. And riches, when you invest them and diversify, then they become wealth.
Wow. So even if you have money, then you still need to make your hands dirty.
Work, make your hands dirty to get money. Use your money to buy natural resource.
Wow.
Or to invest in natural resource.
Wow.
That's why I'm saying we need to become billionaires, create a young generation of billionaires who become billionaires not because they are stolen, not because they are suspects. But what they got from the knowledge that they have from school and what they have studied in their academic pursuits and the qualification that they possess becomes an opportunity to make money, to locate a natural resource that you can use or invest in to give you wealth.
Wow. Now, because our time is almost up, now help me to understand. There is this natural abundance of resources. And there is this person who wants to tap into that. How do you tap into it? How do you stop that flow of the currency to make sure that it comes to you?
Let's go to the ocean. How many things take us to the ocean? I like swimming myself. I like riding waves in the ocean. Of course, when I can see the shoreline, because that tells me I can run, or I can try to swim out. We go to the ocean to swim. We go to the ocean to do scuba diving. We go to the oceans to take a fake submarine to take us to see the corals down there. Or glassy boat, floating boat, to see corals or whatever. But as we do all those things, we see natural resource. There are some guys that live in that ocean. They're called the fish,
Yeah.
in all their sizes and
Yes,
shapes.
yes, yes.
Have you ever seen a fish that jumped out of the sea into your plate?
No. No.
So how do you get the abundance?
I would say fish are wiser than us. They never commit suicide.
There you are. So they know that's suicidal. They want to retain their natural resource, which I want to call element, their natural element.
Yes.
Because if they come out of their element, into your element, they become dinner.
Yeah.
Dinner is served. If they leave their element and come to your element, dinner is served. So the question is, can I access the natural resource, the abundance of natural resource that is in the sea? Let's not go to deeper things and crazy things. Let's just stay with fish in all sizes and shapes.
Yes.
Avoid the sharks. Because if you fear the sea because of sharks, then you discover it's not every sea that has sharks in every area.
Wow.
So I need to look at that. As a young person, I need to look at that and say, fish needs to be gotten out of its environment
Yeah.
into kitchens of hotels,
Yes.
of families.
Yes.
And for that to happen, I better use money to go buy it from a fisherman. Or I can bypass the fisherman and buy a boat, a fishing boat, buy nets, local fishing boat made from carved from trees.
Yeah.
Then go and hire somebody who knows how to fish. But the fish he brings out is
Your
my
fish. Wow.
And when he's fishing in the ocean, I'm busy looking for places, hotels to supply my fish. I don't know how to fish. But I've worked, I've been paid, I've been given a paycheck
Yes.
for this month of November or October or January or February. And then that one, I go and carve a boat,
Yes.
get some fishing rods, and then look for somebody who knows how to fish. And then I go and market fish that I cannot even catch. But I have used what I was paid, the money that I have, to hire a fisherman
Wow.
who brings the fish. Once it hits the shoreline, it's not his fish,
It's my fish.
it's my fish.
Wow.
Then I supply to the hotels, which means I can get 10 luxury hotels or 5-star hotels or 7-star hotels to supply fish.
Wow. You keep coming back to these term, get somebody, get somebody, get
Yes.
somebody. That tells me that in the process of creating wealth, then partnerships are very necessary.
In fact, partnership is the key to wealth creation. Nobody has ever created wealth alone.
Wow.
Look at Pfizer. Pfizer has teamed up with another company to produce what? The vaccine that the world is buying in billions,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Pfizer could produce that, but they discovered they can link up with biotech. The two of them, if they need $150 billion to produce, to do research on these things, Company A brings 75 billion.
Yes.
Company B brings 75 billion.
Yes.
And we combine the two to become 150 billion.
Wow.
Then we conduct the top scientists and pay them to do research. But the vaccine that they will produce will not bear their name.
Wow.
It is Pfizer.
Wow. Wow. Yes.
So, partnership is what multiplies opportunities and resources.
Wow. Let's pause it there, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Riches, they can last for a lifetime. But wealth is generational. It will keep growing and leave you and find your children. So, what are you making today? Are you making wealth or are you just making money? If your goal is to make money, you might lose it. But if your goal is to make wealth, use that money and create wealth. And that wealth is going to outlive you. God bless you so much. We'll begin it from right there. That partnership.
Yes. The power of partnership.
Amen. There you have it. I'm Felix Joe. It's Bishop Titus Mbai. We partner together and we bring you this wonderful show, The Billionaire Generation. See you next week.